Not a lot of people like to go through the white paper. It's really important. What I try to do for you is take out the important bits. I think within the white paper they point out reasons why that they saw the opportunity to help people. 3 billion people unable to obtain credit. 91% of residents in developing nations experience difficulty receiving debt financing. 38% of the world's population do not have a bank account. A few things we mentioned earlier, cross-border credit scoring, the way in which they're looking to change creditworthiness assessments, having no borders, being able to tear down borders for lending, identity theft, uncompetitive credit scoring ecosystem. There is literally 3 companies kind of have the market cornered in America and probably in the UK as well. So their protocol components are Bloom ID, Bloom IQ, Bloom Score. This is what really makes up the system. And it just shows you a little graph there about how it all works, how Bloom Score, Bloom IQ. Again, pause if you wish and have a read. Now, attestation is where you, in effect, the way the system will work is you have the nodes that will operate the system. There will be no new tokens, so you'll have these nodes, and institutions will be paid for providing information. So that's what keeps the system moving. So verification will be things like electronic ID verification, documentary verification, social verification, sanction screening, which is really, really important. Whenever you lend money, you need to make sure that the person you're lending money to is not part of a sanction. They're not, maybe anything to do with Crimea. Politically exposed people will be someone who is a member of parliament, someone who potentially is a member of a royal family. So these are all things that you have to do whenever you're lending money. Again, it just covers peer-to-peer attestation and vouching. I think the key thing really, revealing creditworthiness through relationships is quite important. As I mentioned earlier, there are some banks that don't actually provide information. They take it, but they don't actually give anything back. So this provides an incentive for people to vouch, or companies to vouch for individuals. Bloom IQ, reliability score, peer score, number of loans taken out. So one of the things that they'll look at is when they're assessing someone's creditworthiness, is they'll look at what loans they've taken through Bloom, past identity checks that are done, and which could be very useful. And again, quite a lot of detail there in relation to how they actually work out the loan risk assessment life cycle, which is something I've dealt with in the past, and I can confirm it's not very interesting, but feel free to have a read. Now, the Bloom token, as mentioned before, works as a currency. It's distributed to help scoring enhancements. They're going to use it for their invitation system to try and get people on initially. So when companies come to the network, they will actually have to buy a significant stake of Bloom to actually become attesters themselves and become accrediting attesters. The other thing that's quite interesting is they're actually looking to use or create a Bloom card. Now, they're not looking to compete with the other cards, but we've got to remember a lot of the other cards are actually debit cards. They're actually looking to create a true credit card that can be used as a debit card, but it's going to be used really to prove the use case. They're not looking to become a major large-scale credit provider, but I think it's, I'll be hoping to get one, put it that way. Looking to operate the card in Bitcoin, Ethereum to US dollar, and looking to get the best rate possible at that time. And also facilitate peer-to-peer lending, which will be quite interesting. As I mentioned, Jesse is a Thiel Fellow. Other advisors I thought were quite interesting as well. The whole team are. I could be here all day talking about the team, but another big one that stands out for me is Joseph, co-founder of District X. So very, very informative white paper.